Octavio. I'm Sarah from the upcoming. So lovely to speak to you. So for people who don't know anything about Ron's Gone Wrong, how'd you give a brief synopsis about what it's all about?
Wow. It's basically about a boy, socially awkward, trying to find friends in a world where there are kids and these bots and this technology, and finding himself to feel like he's alone. And in this process, he ends up getting this robot that he feels is going to make everything work out, and ends up being a bot that doesn't work properly. But through the series and through the adventures he has, he realizes it's not really about the perfection, it's about the imperfection. Like anything in friendships are about this kind of different ideas. And so it's a coming age story, but it's really about connection and what that means about making friends.
And, it's not quite Black Mirror, but it's definitely touching on some slightly dystopian ideas. So, what do you think the key themes are of it?
The themes are just the idea of how we have embraced technology and that sense of what that means for kids, and how it's just something that you want to keep that open communication with your children about moving forward, but it's also what we deal with as well. So I think it's something very common. I don't know, it's so dark, but it's like you just have to embrace it and try to figure out, like, let's have conversations about these things and what these topics mean. But other than that, it has a little bit of it. We kind of poke at it a little bit, but it's more about a kid finding a way to connect with his peers. So.
What an incredible cast, You've got Liam Payne, you've got Olivia Colman, Rob Delaney. So, how is it working with them to do the voiceovers and everything?
It was amazing. We were very grateful of having all these amazing actors and then what they brought to it, and just the collaboration. So for us doing this and being like as a first-time director, to work with this amazing talent, just grateful that we had all these amazing casts.
And what about the look and feel of it? I mean, beautiful animation. These things that can evolve over time. So how did you want it to look and feel?
I couldn't hear the last part, sorry.
Oh, sorry, the way it looks, the style of the animation, what was so important about the way you executed?
Well, I think the biggest thing for us was trying to make sure that we had the heart and the emotion behind it, which was really important to us, especially in the animation and the acting. There's like shots there, which is one of my favorites, where Barney's literally on the bed and he's talking about all the things that have happened, this narrative tape that he's playing, and it's all on him. And for us to be able to get secondary action and getting that emotion is super important. So, which it comes through, but that to us was like a big thing. I guess when it comes to the relevant, it's just we were very fortunate that because of what's going on, things were happening. But I think for us, it was really about the story, about a kid dealing with this social anxiety, not anxiety, but the sense of awkwardness of trying to interact with other kids and having to have the technology that's also augmenting the difficulty. So I guess it became relevant, but it's something that we felt like it should be about the core thing about these two characters and dealing with this idea of what it is to connect nowadays with the social networks. So I feel like it's a happy accident, but it's more about storytelling, and that was for us. So it just happened to work that way, but I think it's like the true form of like the heart of the story and trying to be genuine about it. So technology is like part of that, but it's really, if you watch it, you'll see it's a kid trying to go like, how do I fit in? I feel like alone. And it's a question I feel like for most kids that go through that. And I hope they go, there's even a part in the movie where he talks about it. He's like, I thought I was the only one. And he sees that all these other kids are going through the same thing. So hopefully we get that kind of conversation happening where a kid can talk about it with his parents or even with his friends about that stuff. Yes, he brought such an awe and wonder to it, but also just, it was so matter of fact that it just worked out perfectly. We needed to have that contrast, and Zach brought it in spades. And then also, his comedy chops is legendary, so we just lucked out, but at the same time, he had to be wrong. It just felt right. So we took, with the process of like designers, we had Aurelian Bertal, Nathan Crowley that specifically worked on it, and also with JP's vision of this movie, of the design of it. And we just wanted it to be unique as much as we could to have it, and hopefully this stands out, but that was our idea, was trying to figure out how we can make this something different from most movies. Basically, because it's such a huge endeavor, we all had specific things that we worked on. I have background working at Lucasfilm on Clone Wars with George, so I also worked with layout. and also in some stuff for design and also for story, because I came from story for Pixar, and I also worked on editorial. So it just delegated different places, but these movies take a lot of people to get it done, and a lot of times it gets faster and faster. It doesn't slow down, so it actually does need a lot of people to work on it. And it was great. We had a great team, and we're very, very fortunate to have Sarah, JP, and I kind of working together to make this a great thing.